This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 2457, The Incredible Power of the 1% Margin for Improvement, Part 2, by Paula Pant of AffordAnything.com. And I'm Justin Malik, the guy that reads to you every single day of the year. And today's episode is part 2 of a longer post. If you didn't catch part 1 yesterday, I'd recommend listening to that first. But if you're all caught up, let's get right to part 2 and continue optimizing your life. The Incredible Power of the 1% Margin for Improvement, Part 2, by Paula Pant of AffordAnything.com. 1% across life. I first learned the marginal gains idea when Zen Habits author Leo Babauta suggested developing new habits through incremental gains. Want to start jogging? Jog for 1 minute per day, he recommended. Yes, it will feel silly to lace up your running shoes, break into a 1-minute jog, and stop. That seems so ridiculous most people laugh, he says. But this helps you develop the habit of jogging every day. Starting is the hardest part. You can adjust the amount later. Leo applies this concept to any type of behavior change. Want to start flossing? Floss 1 tooth. Meditation? 1 or 2 minutes. Writing? 1 sentence. Push-ups? You get the idea. I decided this made sense. I realized that if I run for 1 minute a day and increase this by an additional minute every 3 days, I'll be completing 1-hour runs within 6 months. This concept was the inspiration for the 1% challenge. 1% learning. I recently stumbled across this concept again while researching effective teaching techniques. As you know, I'm creating a real estate investing course. One of my biggest priorities is designing the material in a way that produces results rather than just presents information. In service of that goal, I've been spending a lot of time studying the learning process, learning how humans learn. Among other concepts, I've been reading about how to ask a mix of clarifying, probing, and leading questions, offer unobtrusive feedback, seek out confusing parts like who's feeling stuck, what's preventing forward momentum, and foster a sense of competence, independence, and belonging. This is called the 3 A's, agency, autonomy, and affiliation. Sounds great, but this is vague and unspecific. How do I apply these ideas into the material? The answer? Marginal gains. Can I rephrase one question? Can I create one more cliffhanger within the talk? Can I ask students to articulate one thing they expect to achieve at the end of each lesson? If I make one tweak or improvement every day, within 4 months, I'll have made more than 100 enhancements. That's the difference between good and great. I'm blown away by how much small changes add up over time. 1% and the big picture. There's one critical clarification I want to make about marginal gains theory. Some people interpret this as the theory of sweating the small stuff, worry about minutia, tweak around the fringes. This seems to contradict a different line of thinking that you should ruthlessly prioritize, focusing only on the big wins. Your time and energy is limited, so don't waste it chasing pennies. Don't clip coupons or make your own laundry soap when you could instead spend your precious time focusing on larger gains. How can you possibly pursue marginal gains and limit your focus to big wins? Don't these two ideas live in opposition? That's a fantastic question. Since I'm a nerd, I decided to dig deep to find the answer. Clarity came from a Brailsford interview, quote, "Interestingly, when we moved from the track to the Tour de France, we didn't get it right at all. Our first few races were well below expectation. We took an honest look and realized that we had focused on the peas, not the steak. We tried so hard with all the bells and whistles of marginal gains that our focus was too much on the periphery and not on the core. You have to identify the critical success factors and ensure they are in place, and then focus your improvements around them. That was a harsh lesson," end quote. Boom. That says it all. The theory of ruthless prioritization, which states that our mental bandwidth is limited, so focus only on the few things that matter, provides a target. It tells us where to aim our arrow. The theory of marginal gains tells us how to hit that target. It's the forward trajectory of that arrow as it soars through the air 1 inch at a time. Prioritization is the what. Marginal gains is the how. I'll use myself as an example. There's no shortage of opportunities to optimize areas of my life. I could dive into the travel hacking scene, learn another language, take up a musical instrument, start lifting weights, become a better cook, spend more time connecting with old friends, expand my consulting business and bring on more clients, grow the afford anything movement, build my rental property portfolio. The problem is that you and I can do anything, but not everything, just as we can afford anything, but not everything. Through ruthless prioritization, I chose a few goals that are at the core of my life's vision. Then within the goals that I chose, I create a daily habit of marginal gains. 1% gains in your life. Maybe you're trying to earn side income, start investing, or grow the gap between your earnings and expenses. Maybe you're wrestling with a career decision, or maybe you're trying to get healthier. There are a million goals you could reach, but there are probably only a small few that truly deserve your care and attention. Choose those goals wisely, ruthlessly, deliberately. Once you've chosen your targets, make incremental progress a daily habit. Send one email to a potential client daily. Read one article per day about investing. Save 1% more money than you did last month. 1% improvements create champions over time. You just listened to part 2 of the post titled The Incredible Power of the 1% Margin for Improvement by Paula Pant of affordanything.com. Thank you again to Paula. Yesterday I talked about the exercise example of how I'm using that in my own life. And then in the second half, she mentioned pretty much that exact same idea, how you can run for just 1 minute a day and it will add up over time. We can all do that. I mean, again, it doesn't have to be running, but something. And if you do it consistently, it will turn into a habit. And then the length can change from 1 minute to 2 minutes to 5, 10, and beyond. Even if it takes a long time, still better than nothing. But really, when you think about the example from this article, you could run for a minute a day and then increase it by just 1 minute only every 3 days, which is a pretty good gap there. And then within 6 months only, that would be 1 hour runs, which is massive. And the psychology there of knowing is just 60 seconds can make it a lot easier to start, which is often the hardest part. Soon enough, starting gets easier. And then again, the next thing you know, you're doing a lot more than 60 seconds and actually enjoying it. So try it out. Try to enjoy it most of all, and let me know how it goes. Have a great rest of your weekend if you're listening in real time. And I'll catch you in just a moment, actually, with our weekly bonus episode where your optimal life awaits.